when I left school, I was quite academic, but I never wanted to go down kind of the university route. You could do hairdressing, you could do beauty, you could do public services, whereas the guys got mechanics, carpentry. You had those options given to them, not to me. I literally, 17, started driving, got my driver's license, bought a little £400 4KA, got 3 jobs to pay for rent, and just lived on my own, and I loved it. I ended up taking on a course that was down in Kent, and you'd go for like a week block to do a lot of practicals, which worked for me because I could book it off with annual leave. So I didn't have any annual leave for that year because I just used it all on my course. And I would do all the theory in my own time at home.
Some people are really passionate about the whole women in trades thing, and others are like, stop making a massive deal out of it. This side, it doesn't get spoken about.
No, I'm going to get quite a bit of hate for that, I think.
Yeah, but it's a statement, it's a fact, isn't it? Right then, new episode of Trade Legends, and we have got a new guest, Jess Rose, apprentice plumbing and heating engineer. I've got a little list, Jess, so I'm going to break down this list.
Oh, God.
And then I've got a little intro for you, because Jack knows I love my intros, but we'll get on to that. So, Jess Rose, apprentice plumbing and heating engineer, a fellow Thomas Dudley ambassador. Now, you are doing the apprentice scheme with Thomas Dudley, or we spoke off camera about this. We'll go into it later on about what Thomas Dudley are doing for you, being an apprentice coming into it, because obviously there's a few ambassadors on board. You started your journey. Now, I asked you, am you all right calling it a journey?
I'm all right.
Yeah. You started your journey into plumbing and heating in September 2023, and obviously we're going to go back and find out what that was, like what brought you into it. You've just done a campaign with B&Q, Trade Point, for International Women's Day, and that was really good. The content on it that's on social media is really good, but that's led on to other stuff that, again, we're going to talk about later on in the show. And you currently work in social housing?
Yes.
Okay, right. I've got your intro here. Now, I usually do a bit of an intro for a guest, but you've saved me the trouble this time, because I'm using what you've put.
Oh, wow, okay.
And you wrote this 2 years ago.
Oh, blimey, right at the start then.
Yeah, so that's why off camera I said, I'm not telling you the intro. So, Jess has done her own intro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's good. I like this. So, I'll read it.
Okay.
I'm Jess, and after years of delaying, I'm finally starting my journey to become a plumber. Something I nearly started over 7 years ago. Since then, I've been self-taught work on my own home, but can't wait to document my progression. New skills, new tools. I'm going to girl boss it. That's what you put.
A very long time ago.
Does that sum it up? Is that still a mantra now, 2 years later? Is that about where we're at with it?
Still stands. Yeah.
Cool.
Still stands.
So take us back then, Jess. Take us back to the beginning of you coming into this industry, because has it always been plumbing and heating? Has it always been trades, or was there something coming out of school? What did you want to do?
I've done a lot of different things.
Okay.
So when I left school, I was quite academic.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to go down kind of the university route, and I ended up taking up hairdressing. Right. I did my level 2 and 3 in hairdressing, got my qualifications, and that kind of stemmed from being in school. And in the latter years, everyone that was on a predicted lower grade got the opportunity to do an MVQ, to do a practical course. And because my grades were higher, I wasn't given the same opportunity. So the minute I left school, I was kind of almost rebelling against doing A-levels. I wanted to do an MVQ.
So was you sort of pushed towards the uni thing?
Yes, I wasn't
because
allowed
of
to
the
do.
Grades.
I wasn't allowed to do an MVQ. I wasn't given the option.
See, that's great. Schools, we have it so much on this show where if you get them lower grades, you're just pushed into the MVQ route and the tradespeople. But it's interesting that hearing from the other side, really good academically, and it's not even spoken about. It's like a given that you're going to do sixth form. Is it still sixth form?
Yeah,
is it still that?
Still A-levels, yeah.
So, and they do that and then uni and...
They almost set that route for you.
Yeah, it's like a sliding doors. You either go that way or that way.
Yeah.
So you rebelled against it.
Yeah, and I just went straight into an MVQ. And also at the time, I didn't get given the options that you would necessarily have now for females. I was given, you could do hairdressing, you could do beauty, you could do public services. They were kind of the options given, whereas the guys got mechanics, carpentry. You had those options given to them, not to me. So out of the choices I had, I knew I wanted to do an MVQ, so I went and did hairdressing and stuck at that for a couple of years.
At that point, did you, if you got offered the man's way, would you have gone that way at that point?
Yeah, because I was already interested in using tools. It was the same in school. Like, you couldn't go and do carpentry. You did cooking. You did child development. You didn't do...
Yeah, see, it's massively sort of segregated, isn't it?
Yeah, you didn't get that option at all. It was very much females went and did this side, males went and did this side, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really presented with the opportunity. So in my head, I didn't have a choice.
Did you ask? Did you ever ask or not?
There wasn't really... I mean, you're kind of like 15 years old, and you don't really want to be like, I want to go and do... plumbing or whatever it is that you want to do. I never had that confidence to do that. So I was quite shy at school. Yeah. Because I was completely different to now. And I just kind of went with it. So I ended up doing hairdressing for a couple of years, left college and left home. So I was then living on my own. So then I just worked. I just had different jobs, went through a mass variety of jobs.
Really? Still with that inkling in the back of your mind, you wanted to do something more hands-on? Yeah,
but at the same time, I couldn't then fund college because the minute you go past 19, you've then got to start. There weren't schemes in place. You've got to pay. Yeah. And I was living on my own. I was working 3 jobs. Yeah. When was I going to get the chance to go and study and do something I wanted to do and pay 3-4 grand out for it? Yeah. So it just escalated for years, and I ended up in an admin role, which progressed to gaining a level 4 and 5 in law. And I worked as a paralegal for 4 years.
What's that?
So it's essentially lower than a solicitor. So you have a legal qualification, but you're not up to the level of a solicitor, so you can sign off certain legal work. So I worked in probate, so dealing with people's estates, and will writing, trusts, and I did that for
Was you happy doing that? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I enjoyed the process. It was more the fact that I was managing my own work and helping people. I enjoyed doing that. There was processes to follow, but I just sat at a desk all day.
Mind-numbing. I couldn't think of anything worse than sitting at a desk.
I tried for many years.
Sorry, Jack. Couldn't think of anything worse sitting at a desk.
Yeah, I tried to stick it out for many years, and I couldn't. I was getting migraines, sciatica. I'd sit there and I'd just see 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock through the day.
You think you're doing that for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
You've got to enjoy the job that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we all have days where you don't enjoy it, but every day doing what we do, and we've got Hollie off camera here, every day what we do is something different.
Yeah.
I could not think, even when I come in here, come in to see Jack, he's always in the same seat, looking at the same houses he ain't going to buy. So just to be in that environment day in, day out. I suppose if you've always done it, you don't know any different.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you're going, I want something different. I don't want to be sat here.
I knew I wanted to do something different because outside of work, I was really practical. Obviously, I lived on my own from the age of 18, so I was having to look after my own house. And even small things like going to IKEA or B&Q and picking up a piece of furniture, I then had to buy screwdrivers, drills, and start building stuff myself. I didn't have people around me to do it for me. Yeah. And it was from that I was like, I like doing things on my own. I was very independent. I liked moving furniture around that I shouldn't be able to move because it was 5 times my body weight. Right. And I just was so driven to be practical.
Independent as well.
Yeah.
Massively. Very. Do you still like that now?
Yeah. Yeah, very independent. I really struggle with letting things defeat me.
Right.
So...
Does it become like an obsession?
Yeah.
Can you do a Rubik's Cube?
No.
Right, there you go. I've just thrown that in there. By the time we do installer, you've got to know how to do it. Because we're on the Thomas Dudley stand together, aren't we?
Yes.
Now I'm going to have to learn as well, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, we can have like a Rubik's Cube off.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We've got some months to prepare. This is good. Okay.
So that's the whole thing of going, right, here's a problem, here's a task.
Yeah.
I'm going to solve it. So So there you go. That was random. We just thrown that in there. So yeah, so you say that you lived on your own from 18. She must have moved out straight away, finished school.
I literally, 17, started driving, got my driver's license, bought a little £400 4KA.
Yeah.
Got 3 jobs to pay for rent
for you.
and just lived on my own. And I loved it.
So what are the jobs you've done then? Hairdressing?
I worked in sales, so I went in and worked for Matalan for a while. I then tried care work.
Yeah.
Hated that. Couldn't do it. Kudos to anyone that does do it. I cannot do it. I worked as an estate agent for 1.5 years. And then pretty much it was the law firm. I went into marketing in there as an admin job, and I just progressed through there. And I was there for total of around 6 years. So that was kind of like my main job. And even when I was there, like I didn't want to go down the route of doing law, but I like learning.
Yeah.
So whilst I was there, I may as well have benefited myself. You know, it benefited my pay, my qualifications, that I could spend my time at home learning, gaining the qualification. So I left with my level 4 and 5 in law, never did my level 6 because I got to a point where I was like, I cannot do this office job anymore.
I don't want to do the job, so I'm not going to keep pushing on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're doing your the law thing. You're at a place where you don't really want to be. Is that right in saying that?
Yeah, very much so.
So is this the transition into plumbing and heating?
It was very much years ago. I had a friend I've got quite a few friends, to be honest, from school as well, who were all into plumbing, heating, all that kind of side. And I used to just go and help on Saturdays and do even just holding the wet vac and random things. Yeah, I just found it fascinating. I enjoyed being in work clothes like that. Compared to office stuff, I liked being practical. So to go and just help someone see what they're doing, the idea of being able to go home or just do things myself again without having to ask somebody else for help, I love it. I absolutely love it. So from doing that at like the age of 19, which was when I was going out and doing little jobs at the weekend, to getting fixated in the office job because I was so stressed I couldn't focus on anything else.
Right. Was you taking it home with you, that job?
Oh, yeah. I was always stressed. I wasn't happy. It got me to a real mental low point during that time. Like the last couple of years of working there, I was just miserable all the time. Coming home, and then I was in my house and looking at all the things I needed to do, and I'd start something and then I'd be too stressed to finish it. So I had like 15 different unfinished projects in my house.
Just had a board with unfinished stuff on.
It was just endless. And I was just so brain dead coming home that I didn't want to do any of it. And it was at that point that I kind of realised, I was like, I need to change this. I'm not going to keep doing this for years. And I was 26, 27.
Is that me?
Oh.
Hollie. I've just thought, shit, mine's on.
I know, I was looking at mine thinking, is it going to go off?
Hollie. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So you was like, I can't keep doing this then.
Yeah. I got to 26, 27 years old, and I was then looking at ways to study, and I didn't have the money at the time. I was spending all my money from my wages on my house and trying to do things up, and having continuous car problems and just normal life things I was paying out for.
It's always something.
Yeah, there always is. So I had to try and find a way to do a course, and I just funded it through credit, and I just had enough. Yeah.
So you were still at work while doing the start of. So would this be? We said in the note, when is it? September 2023.
Yeah.
So were you still working at the law firm then?
So I was working. I'm just trying to think. So I left there at the end of August, and I started doing the plumbing probably a fair few months before that.
Right.
I ended up taking on a course that was down in Kent, and you'd go for like a week block to do a lot of practicals, which worked for me because I could book it off with annual leave. So I didn't have any annual leave for that year because I just used it all on my course.
Right.
And I would do all the theory in my own time at home. And that was the only way I could do it. I couldn't get to college in the evenings because by the time I was finished in the office, I was past the time that the college course would start. So I couldn't do evening courses.
But it's so good that you're putting the foundation in place here while still doing doing a job that people would have assumed that you was going to do because of your grades at school.
Yeah.
That's where Jess should be.
Yeah.
Whereas you're going, I don't want to be here, so I'm funding myself to become a plumbing and heating engineer.
Yeah.
So that transition then, the handing your notice in at work and then getting another job. Did you go straight into another job?
So funnily enough, installer show.
Yeah. What, that 2023 installer show?
No, last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I started the plumbing course before when I was in my old job, but installer show last year, so in June 2024, that's when I had an interview for the job that I'm in now. It was that Friday.
So you hadn't been working?
No, so I was still working throughout there,
Okay.
and I was doing the plumbing, and I basically dropped down to 4 days a week in the legal firm so that I could have an extra day to study.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when I found a gas apprenticeship.
At installer show?
Yeah, through local social housing. So I had that one and I just applied for that and got it. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've then come away from installer show, applied for this job, got the job, handed your notice in.
Yep.
Did you tell them what you was going to do?
Yeah.
How did that go down?
I was quite honest with them. I think when I dropped down to 4 days, I said the reason why I was doing it, and it was because I wanted to go and study the plumbing course on the side. And I think from that point, my boss kind of knew that at some point I'd be venturing off. And I think it wasn't planned to be as soon as it was. I kind of had in my head I was going to finish all my plumbing and then probably do the gas on the side as well, and then leave when I had my qualifications. But finding an apprenticeship, it was paid enough that I could still afford to live, because that's really important with the apprenticeships. I bet that was quite tough though,
because apprenticeships, there's not a lot of money in them.
No, not at all. Whereas this company was offering a proper salary.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So I was fine. I knew I'd...
Fell on your feet there then?
Yeah, very much so.
Ladies and gents, just a quick one to say a huge thank you to our new headline sponsor, CT1, the best sealants on the market, voted for by the British public. Not only that, it's made in Britain as well. So go and support a product and a brand that is made in the UK. But I just want to say to you, they've got a brand new product out, which is the BT1. It's a combination sealant and adhesive like the popular CT1, but it's perfect for keeping a hygienic environment. And it's designed to completely stop the growth of bacteria, microbes, and fungus. And not only that, this stuff is strong. Now, it's going to be available at Travis Perkins, Wickes, Jewson's, and pretty much everywhere else, so there's no excuse not to go and give it a go. So we're really happy to be partnering with CT1.
So you've then made the transition to work for this company, and how's that going?
Amazing.
Is it everything that you thought doing it
and more.
Every day is?
Yeah, and more.
Because obviously your social media stuff, we'll put all the links to your social media down in the description below and whatnot. But just seeing the content that you make, does your company know that you make that content? They're going to be watching it. I assume they're going to be watching this. But they're all on board with it. They're happy for you as long as the things in the background. Yeah,
so I pretty much said from the get-go to my boss, I was like, I do want to film. I do want to film stuff. I'm very aware I'm in tenants' houses. There's personal belongings. I'm very careful with what I film. Pretty much it's just either me or the thing I'm filming.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm learning as well, so I don't want to take time away being like, oh, I'm faffing on my phone. So it's seconds of just, I'll just film 3 seconds of this, and I put the videos together outside of work. But capturing the stuff that I'm learning on my apprenticeship is really important. I want that to be on my page. It's part of the journey.
Yeah, because you are putting the apprentice's perspective on it.
Yeah.
You know, the content I make, been doing it 30 years, so the long form content I make, I'm in someone's house showing the whole lot. Mm-hmm. And even with me, I'll ask the people if they're all right with me filming. And that. But that is the content that is everywhere. Even on Instagram, you get all the content from people that have been doing it years. So it's refreshing to have you doing that. Really quite basic jobs. Yeah,
because you're really learning. Basic. Yeah,
you are openly
from the start.
I think on one of your Instagram posts, it's like, is it? Oh, this is the first toilet I've built up.
Yep.
But we've all got to start somewhere, and it's great that you're showcasing that, because some people are, oh, that's so easy, I'm not going to show it.
When I started doing the social media side of it, there wasn't really anybody else showing that much of the basic side.
The rawness of the
just
basicness.
this is day one.
Yeah.
This is changing a rad valve. This is using a tool I've never used before. Even using the SDS drill. I remember being on site and I was like, how'd you change the bit?
Yeah.
Because it's not like your normal little 18-volt drill that you have at home, your little combi drill.
Your little chuck on the
Your little
top,
chuck
yeah.
on it. I'm looking at it going,
Yeah,
I don't know
of
how to
course,
change it.
It's second nature. If you know how to do it.
And
But
I
if you
remember the
don't know how to
engineers
do it-
laughing and they were like, damn, I forget how basic we have to go, because they'd obviously had apprentices for a 4-year period.
Yeah.
And they were very much like, well, we have to start from scratch again. And you kind of forget like how basic you have to go. If you've never used a tool before, you've got to start from scratch. And no one was showing that. So I try and put that in a lot of my posts. I put a lot of writing in all of them. And it's because I'll write out kind of what I was learning and the fact that it was my first. I want other people who are coming onto that journey to be like, it's okay to share that you've never used a spanner before, or you've never fitted a toilet siphon before, or you got things wrong.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put that out there, and I did get a lot of comments, especially when I put videos on TikTok. I got a lot of comments of people being like, well, clearly you don't know what, exactly, clearly you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the whole point of putting this on there.
Read the description. I don't know what
This
I'm
is
doing.
the first time I picked up a pair of pipe benders.
Yeah. I don't know which way to open them, whatever.
Yeah. You just look khaki-handed.
But it's great that you're putting that out from a massively raw perspective and being open about it.
Yeah.
Because people just like to ridicule people when they... It's all right if you know it. If you don't,
Yeah.
Computer spreadsheets. My accountant will send a load of spreadsheets over. Oh, I'll do this. I went, mate, if I press that button, it's all going to disappear.
Yeah.
That's what you do that. So, yeah. No, hats off to you for doing that side of it. So your company's happy with you making content.
Yes.
And the progression within that company is... How's that gone?
It's really good. I'm on a 2-year level 3 gas engineering course. So I'm 7 months of the way through it already. And they're amazing. The college are really good. The company.
What college? Are you still at college now?
Yeah.
What
So I go
college
every
you
Tuesday. So I go to Hereford and Ludlow College, which is near me. So we go every Tuesday, have a college day, do like, bits of practical stuff, theory, and then spend 4 days on site with my engineer. So I'm assigned to an engineer. So I go with them every day. And yeah, it's going really well. I'm actually doing a lot of oil-based work as well at the moment. And she is the guru.
Hollie's here, oil specialist.
Yeah, me and my engineer use Hollie a lot because oil wasn't something that our team was doing. We were gas installers. Yeah. So yeah, it's been an interesting few months.
But even this, having Hollie here, this is a friendship you've made through social media.
Yeah.
And now you're up for the weekend. But that's what is just great. The social media side around the industry, 99% is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone is brilliant. Everyone gets on with everyone, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just it's so good, and that's why you go to somewhere like Installer Show that was the kickstart, the catalyst in your career, if you like now, where everyone gets together, and it's just it's really good. Meeting
so many people in person has been incredible. Doing loads of different events, even doing like charity hills walk. Like we had a load of the plumbers come to the Malvern Hills, which is obviously where I'm from, and did the whole length for charity. And it's just, you just meet so many people that you didn't know were local, people from Kent, like Hollie's 4 hours away from me. Yeah. And yet we're really good friends, and it's all through social media, and it benefits me learning as well. I wouldn't be where I am now, even if I got this job and I was still learning. I wouldn't have learned half as much if I hadn't have had social media. The amount of people that I can talk to, especially from Thomas Dudley, they've been kind of the catalyst in helping me, and even getting the confidence to ask people. I have no problem dropping a message to any of you ambassadors or them and asking about products, what I might need, how to fit it, anything like that.
Because Thomas, obviously I'm an ambassador, you're an ambassador with them, and they're putting you... We spoke about this off camera. We weren't really sure what they're putting in place for you, because they brought you on as an ambassador, but they're helping you through your apprenticeship. Yeah. And I said to you, in what capacity? Now, I tried to speak to Emma, who we work with at Thomas Dudley, but they're gallivanting over in Germany, it is. So I asked you, I said, what is it that actually is. And you said they're basically giving you a really open view of all the products. But if you don't know how to change that siphon, whereas we'll take it for granted. Again, we'll take it for granted we can do it. Whereas you're like, how can you explain how to split this siphon down or whatever? And that's the apprentice side of that ambassadorship, isn't it?
And it started as well. I became an ambassador, I think it was May last year, somewhere around that time. It started from doing a factory tour with a bunch of people from social media
How cool was that
in
factory?
February. Amazing.
Brilliant.
But I would never have seen any of that. And at that point, I was doing my level 2 plumbing, and it shocked me that being in college, how much you don't learn to pass the course, and ticking off the portfolio. You know, you had to hang a plastic cistern on the wall. You could see where the 2 screw holes were. There's none of the gubbins inside the cistern at all. You had to pipe it up to a sink. You didn't even have to put a basin waste, any kind of taps on, nothing. And then they literally look at it and go, yeah, that's right, take it off.
Yeah, signed it off.
So you don't fit a siphon.
So now
you don't
on
fit a fill
paper,
valve.
now on paper you can fit that.
Yeah,
But
and it shocked me because they were like, well, you can now go off and do plumbing. And there were a lot of adult learners that were on my course that were coming there to go away and do their own plumbing business. And I thought, you're going to turn up to a toilet and have absolutely no idea what goes in it. Yeah. So I took apart my own toilets at home. I literally took apart my own. And Thomas Dudley had sent me like fill valves and flush valves. And I just sat there
Swapped it all out.
Figured it all out. I remember doing a video and I put it on TikTok, and that's where I had a lot of comments slating me because they kind of looked at the video, saw there was a female doing it, kind of stereotyped me. I had people commenting on the fact that I was blonde, that I had my nails done.
Yeah. Oh yes,
I had all of that.
The nail thing.
Yeah, I had all of that, and they literally turned around and was like, "Well, you've put the washer in the wrong place." And I'm like, "Have you watched the video?" Because I actually say, yes, I've put it in the wrong place. And then you see straight away after I realised I put it in the wrong place and moved it.
Yeah.
And you don't learn without making errors.
If whatever mistake you make, you 9 times out of 10 never make that mistake again because you learn by your mistakes, don't you?
I've never done it since because you're not going to. Yeah. But there's so many people that would have cropped that bit out and just been like, oh, look what I fitted, I've done it. I'm so good, like I've learned this. And I'm thinking, no, I made a mistake and I learned from that mistake, so I want to share that. Yeah. And so many people took from that and they were like, oh, it's so nice to see someone do what I've done. I've made that mistake.
Yeah. But that was the basin waste with the nails?
Yeah, so I get, that was
so
the video.
we spoke about this. So you're sort of, you're a girly girl, if you like.
Yeah.
You're coming into a trade, a plumbing heating trade, and you're making content. You've put this video out there with you putting a basin waste in. Obviously, your nails are bright red, as they are now, but people are just fixated on that. Mm-hmm. It's like they think you've gone out your way to glamorise the install of this basin waste with your nails and this, that, and the other. And the comments are just firing in.
Yeah. Everyone worried about me breaking a nail and, oh, typical girl, she chips a nail, she'll be crying. And I'm like, you have no idea what I'm like. Just because I like wearing makeup, getting my hair dyed, curling it, I'll curl it to go to work. Yeah. Doesn't mean that when I go into a loft, it's not scraped up into a bun and I'll show that and I come out with cobwebs in my hair or, silica dust in my hair. And then I'm like, it doesn't matter. If I felt good and wanted to do my hair that day and I got it dirty, it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to be like, oh no, I've got a cobweb in my hair. Like, or like I've chipped a nail, I can't keep working. It doesn't affect my job, but I like it.
They just fascinate on that.
They fixate
see it
on
and
it.
they go, she's just doing it for that. And that is the horrible bit with social media. Yeah. But you've sort of gone, I'm going to make this a thing now. Yeah. Because like it or not, you've done that and the comments are flying in. People going, oh, it's a woman doing this, rah, red nails, all this. But that's your interaction. Yeah. So then that post is flying. How many, did it get?
It boosts it, massively.
Crazy views on it.
All of them, anything to do with that, anything where people can see my nails, for some reason, the videos just fly because I will get such a mix of comments. I do get a lot of people saying, like, it's, especially from females, it's nice to see someone still having their personality when they're at work. They don't just completely get rid of it and be like, oh, I must have completely plain short nails.
Yeah, like, you're not dumbing down your personality for the sake of everyone else because you like to go to work. Yeah. How you like to go to work.
I'm still practical. Like I would never I would never go to work with ridiculously long nails because you can't do anything.
I've always wondered how women do stuff. My daughter, her nails are massive.
Oh,
She'll
yeah, I
sit
can't
around
do
my
that.
house, sending a message, and all you can hear is tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Either go out the room and message or do something with your nails.
Yeah, I still have to be practical with what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing, but at the same time, it's not stopping me. It's not changing how I hold a spanner, because there's still a length that I can practically deal with. And what does it matter that they're red?
And did that post have any sort of weight in working with B&Q? I've got here, obviously, you did the B&Q Trade Point campaign, and that was for International Women's Day.
It was, yeah.
And they did a great campaign with that because, you know, your picture, for instance, is you in a typical hair done, a black dress, like you're going out for the night, but holding a massive, great big SDS drill. Yeah. And you had your work boots on.
I did have my work boots on. That was kind of the concept.
So it's sort of a play on it. And we spoke, and Hollie's happy to sort of talk from the wings about this, because I always ask, when we have women on the show, sometimes it's a tricky one to sort of put out. Some people are really passionate about the whole women in trades thing, and others are like, stop making a massive deal out of it. You know, yes, we get it, but don't massively go to town on it. And perfect example is Sammy. So there's a girl called Sammy, and she runs a clothing, making workwear for people, branding. So the company branded by Sammy. And it was Women's International Day the other week, and fair play to her. She'd done a post, and she's basically said, obviously you've seen it. You haven't seen it, have you? No. Right, sorry. So Hollie hasn't seen it. So we said to Hollie off camera, I'm going to say this during the thing. It's to get your instant reaction to it. So fair play to Sammy. She'd done this post basically saying it's going to divide people, but thank you for tagging me in all these International Women's Day things. She said, I haven't reshared them. I appreciate me tagging them. I haven't reshared them. I haven't done anything with it because I don't believe in the whole concept around it, because every day is Women's Day, every day is Men's Day. And she was really open about it. Yeah. And I didn't go too deep on the comments, but you sort of agreed with that, and you did, Hollie, as well, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Because you, it's not just one day, is it?
No.
It's every day. Yes, get your point across, but don't ram it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Is that all right if Hollie comes in on your...
Yeah.
Have we got a chair?
It's all right, I can squat for a sec.
Okay.
Okay, hello.
Hello. Hollie?
Hi.
You've been on before. Was it like a year, 18 months ago?
About 18 months, I think, yeah.
We'll link to Hollie's podcast. But anyway. So what's your sort of view on it?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, I think. Oh, I'm getting a stool.
Get comfortable before you get slated.
Yeah, before I get absolutely hated, I'm going to make myself comfortable. I don't like it. I don't like International Women's Day. I think it's shoved down everyone's throat a bit too hard. And I think that if you make something a big enough deal, it just creates this sort of atmosphere about it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just...
It becomes a thing.
It becomes a thing, yeah. And whereas I'm just like, get on with my job and just do my job, it's like, oh, you're a woman. It's like, oh, shit.
Because you said people have... who was it that... Oh, we won't name the company, but you said you got asked, can we use your photo?
Yeah.
As like a tool?
Yes.
You know, they didn't specifically want any content. They wanted your photo. Can we use that?
Yeah.
Because you're a female in the industry.
Yeah, not because I was any good or anything.
Yeah.
It was just, oh, you're a female, right?
It's not based on merit, is it?
Yeah.
No, there's another box that's been ticked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes me a bit uncomfortable. And I said it in my story on Instagram that I hope we put in more effort for International Men's Day, or just as much effort into International Men's Day. Yeah. That's how I feel.
I can't remember there being a thing around International Men's Day.
I think it's in November.
That's the point. No one really knows.
Nobody knows. And you guys have been doing this job a hell of a lot longer, traditionally, than us women.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're just ignoring you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas we're learning because you've been doing it for so much longer.
We don't need
No.
I say we, the females and women in trade don't need to be put on a pedestal.
No.
Yes, appreciate what we're doing, and times are massively changing, and it's brilliant, but don't put us... Am I speaking out of turn
I
there?
just think
No.
don't separate and create different levels. There's no need. You just need to bring everybody up to the same level and work together. You don't need to go, oh, women are up here now because they're now starting to take over and or literally take over socials with it. You don't need to. You just need to be on the same level with each other.
Yeah, and that was the whole point around Sammy's post, and I think it was a brilliant thing what she did. Yeah. And you'll have to go and have a look at it, Hollie, because it'd be interesting to...
100% agree with what she did.
Yeah, and she said it's going to massively divide people. She went, but this is my view. And she openly went, oh, it's not for everyone, but this is me. I appreciate people tagging me in it. I appreciate it. She said, but I'm not sharing it. I'm not going to push it because I don't... And she even said it's like the whole Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah, it is.
I said out there, much to my missus' disgust, I get her a card, but I don't make a big thing of it.
Yeah.
I don't get a card, I don't get flowers, and I don't expect it because, like you, we don't celebrate it because every day is an opportunity to show...
I don't need just one day of the year
exactly.
to share my love for my
to get
wife.
a £400 bag. And, just
exactly,
like,
it's
no.
Whereas Halloween, I fucking love Halloween. But it's interesting to hear that perspective because it doesn't get... This side, it doesn't get spoken about.
No, I'm going to get quite a bit of hate for that, I think.
Yeah, but it's a statement. It's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's good, the fact that you can come out with it and say it. And
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to Sammy about that because I saw her post and dropped her a message, and we get on anyway. And obviously, the post came out on International Women's Day for B&Q. They were utilising that day and the traction that comes along and pushing a really kind of important message that they were trying to deliver. And I remember messaging her and being like, I hope you don't think I'm doing that on that level. I wouldn't want her to think, or anybody else, that I was just doing it because I'm pushing International Women's Day.
But that's a campaign you're working with B&Q now, aren't you? In the future.
Yeah, so the whole campaign was based around a hashtag of Do the Lift thing, and it was about bringing people with you and all rising together at the same level. And when you reach a level that you're happy with or your successor level, send the lift back down for somebody else and help. That's their whole message. And they've done a load of reels where they've got young girls in there, and they want to kind of get the message out there in schools and things like that you can go into trades, which are that side of it is really important to me.
Yeah.
So I love that side of that campaign. I love the fact that they were showing... They obviously had 10 of us females for this campaign, and we spoke to the photographer Sane Seven, who's incredible, and she had a chat with all of us individually before the shoot, and she said, I want you to come in something that you would go out in on a Saturday, something that's you.
Jess went, yes.
And I was like, I'm very much a dress and heels girl. Yeah. I will do my hair. And she's like, I've seen your red nails. She was like,
the famous.
And it came up.
So that's the thing. It's like a USP.
Unique selling point.
USP, yeah.
USP.
Yeah.
But it is, and I love the fact that you're capitalising on it and it's becoming your thing.
Yeah. And I was like...
Because that's got you the trade point gig, the
yeah.
B&Q gig.
Yeah, exactly. Like. And I was on that video call with her, and she was just like, I love the fact that you do your hair and your makeup and your nails. And she's like...
Camera you like that. I want these.
And she's like, you know, I want you in, like, the black dress that you say that you would wear if you went on a Saturday. She was like, screenshotting photos from my Instagram, though. She was like, but I see you in those work boots all the time. She was like, they're kind of like your staple. And then she said, and this drill, she was like, you using this drill. She was like,
big, huge Jess
drill, and she
it?
said, I want you to bring that drill, those boots, and your dress, hair and makeup as you would, completely you.
Yeah.
You know, nails as well, everything, and come and we will put it all together because all of that encompasses me. Yeah. And it was the same for all the other girls.
Yeah, you all did it. We
all did our own
massively
thing.
Different, but all playing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
But that shot that they got of you, that is a big, massive... It's got to be a big,
amazing.
massive picture on the wall. That's that sort of shot, isn't
picture, my God.
It's good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so can you talk about what else you're doing with B&Q? Or
do you want me to head off?
You're fine.
This is about her.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're fine.
You can edit that out, Jack. I feel like I'm just like, sorry.
So it's still focused around the campaign. We want to push that as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think all the girls that were involved want to push it. Everyone was from different backgrounds, different trades. So that's kind of the line that we're going down. Myself and an electrician, Hannah, went and did like a talk with B&Q with Sane 7, the photographer, and had a talk with all of the people that were at the B&Q house, and I'll have video footage of that soon. It's all been filmed. It's all coming out. It went out to like store managers across all the B&Qs.
Oh, okay. So it's like a corporate thing.
So it was like a sofa chat. So we were sat at the front and they were asking us questions about the campaign
and
about
fun,
us.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's
so we
good.
did all our backgrounds. And that was incredible. And it's just about getting different messages out there. And B&Q and TradePoint are really hell-bent on trying to see what they can do to help get as many people into apprenticeships, no matter who you are, male or female. But they've used International Women's Day as the start of it. Yeah. And it wasn't just about women. It was just the day. That was
the day where they could lever off that.
It was the day, and yeah, you can push off that, and it spread a really good message. It went really far, and I know that Sane's really passionate about it, and she works, to empower women. So as much as loads of people have got their opinion, like you said, and you think you're going to get hate for it, I think it's really important to say that it's not just about women. Empower them, help them get to the same level as every other person. Men and women should be on the same level, and that's it. There shouldn't be a pedestal for one or the other. Yeah. So yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. We can tick that off.
Men will always be stronger, but we have other qualities, I suppose. Yeah. Good at organisation, that sort of thing. But
yeah.
But do you think that tips into the whole stereotype thing?
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, especially with work as well, have kind of a bit of a thing about me because I'm so tiny.
I was going to say, you are a very small girl, but do you see that at work?
Yeah.
Do you get like, is it a bloke or a woman that you work with?
I work with a guy.
So is it you shadow him? I don't suppose you do you?
I just get mentored by him. So
that's the right word.
Get mentored
so
by him.
So is there ever points where he goes, I'll pick that up, Jess?
No,
like,
so
I've got it. Is he good as gold?
He's really good, really, really good, really supportive. And I'm not afraid to ask for help. And he will say that. He's like, if something's too heavy, you shouldn't, no matter whether you're a male or a female, you shouldn't be lifting beyond your weight. So it doesn't matter what it is and who you are, you should be being sensible. So if you look at something, like he's never going to go to a job and lift a 150 kilo boiler on his own, because you just won't. You're going to hurt yourself. So he's like, it's no different for you. He said, just because the capacity of what you can lift is different to him, 6-foot guy and then me, we can lift different amounts. I was saying to you, I weigh 47 kilos and some of the boilers we have are 45 kilos. And I'm like, I'm lifting my body weight. And there's some guys that were like, really? You can't lift a boiler? You can't lift a Worcester 4000?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I weigh the same as a Worcester 4000.
I'm like, I could pick it up. I'm like, doesn't mean I can get it up over my head. I was like, I'd like to see you put a 96 kilo boiler over your head with ease. They don't think of it in that context. They just think, well, if they can lift it, you can lift it. And a lot of people have said, well, you need to be able to do it, otherwise you're not going to be able to do the job. And they think there's a limitation there.
That's that sort of toxic quality, isn't it?
It's like
go on then.
Passive-aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Are you wasting time? I think that some of you probably are, and I have a solution for you. Nobody wants to do any type of admin. Now, I have a solution for you, and it is called Tradify. It's a fully automated job scheduling, invoicing, and quoting all in one place. Now, that software is going to save you 12 hours a week, and all by using a simple software solution. Now, you can try it for 2 weeks, absolutely free, no cards needed, and you'll even get support in person from Tradify themselves. Now, when you're done, you can always come back to me and thank me, but just enjoy the extra 12 hours that you're going to gain from just using the software.
So you're embracing the social media stuff? Yeah. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I really
because
like it.
Because social media is, we'll push this on social media, and it's become a thing now. There's so many people in so many trades that are doing the social media thing. Obviously, you do it, Hollie, you do it, and I do it. Everyone we have on, I don't think there's ever been anyone that's come on that doesn't do some form of social media. We've always, apart from the brand stuff.
Yeah, pretty much all do.
Yeah. So it's now like a given.
Yeah.
So how far do you want to go with your social media stuff?
I just,
Are you happy with how it is at the minute? Because you said it's short, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not one of these that's like, I must post every day or do that. I always do my stories. I think that's kind of a bit of a given for me now. When I'm going to work, I say what I'm going to do. Yeah, I kind of get a view of what I'm doing for the day. And
usually it's like, oh, it's absolutely lovely seeing you here. Piss off, Jess, it's shit here. And you're like going through the Malvern Hills.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, great, don't want to know. Next.
Yeah, so it's that side of it's really good. And then when I post, I tend to post when there's updates or when I'm doing something new. So a lot of it's not just I changed a rad valve today. There's kind of a bit of a write-up, I find, and that kind of seems to suit me, and I get a lot of engagement with that and a lot of people messaging me. I've had so many people looking to get into this, and apprentices, male and female, completely different ages as well, young and like older, and they're asking me for advice, and I'm thinking, well, I've only been doing it a really short time, and I'll say that.
Yeah, how does that make you feel? Do you get like a imposter syndrome
a little
sort of thing?
Yeah, and I think I always end up starting my message to them with, I haven't been doing this long, and they're like, I know. They're like, I've seen the start of your journey and watched it, and I like what I see, and you seem to be giving me the complete raw side of it.
Yeah.
And they just then want more information.
Because I think maybe that they would think they'll get a better overview asking you, because you'll be like, wow, I have tried this, but I don't know if this is the best thing to use.
Yeah.
Whereas setting your ways, right, I use this product for this is what you should use.
Yeah.
Whereas you're still
I'm still figuring it out.
Still figuring it out.
I think that's one thing is when companies message you or they're like, oh, do you want this? Do you want that? Or do you want to try this? I'm very funny with stuff like that. If I'm going to try it, it's because I've looked at it and gone, oh, actually, I already use something like that, or this could benefit me that I've never used before.
Yeah.
And I will openly say, when people are like, oh, do you want to be an ambassador for something? And I'm like, well, I want to try the product first. I want to know if it's actually going to benefit my day-to-day life. I will then let you know what I think of it before I go any further down that route. Yeah. So like the whole Thomas Dudley side benefits me massively.
Yeah, because
I'm literally learning
housing.
through it. Yeah, I'm literally learning with their products, and they are so supportive. And I've got a whole network of people that I can learn from, and I could phone up on site and be like, what do I do with this? I've not come across this issue before. And I've had apprentices message me on Instagram that I've then been able to talk to you guys about to gain advice for them. And
because they may not
want a channel.
They may not want to come to the likes of Hollie, myself, who they'll go to you because you're new.
Yeah, they're embarrassed almost to ask. And I'm like, don't be. And I'm like, go and message them and just say, I've had some advice from you, thank you, because it'll mean a lot to them that their content is helping. That's the whole point of everyone kind of putting it out there as well when you're learning. Yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoy that side of it, and I want to keep pushing that. I want to show my entire journey through to doing exams and getting qualified and showing the stresses of it and the highs of it.
That would be really interesting is when you get because obviously I used to do gas work. I don't do gas work anymore, but I remember the stress of the gas exams coming up. So giving that view to someone that has, I can't remember the first time I'd done it, and then you have your refreshers.
Yeah.
So it's not as big a thing, but you could give a really raw view of it because you get bombarded with pipe sizing, room ventilation, everything like that.
This is what my stories are starting to be about, especially on a Tuesday when I go to college. You'll get kind of what I'm going to do, and then coming out of college, like last Tuesday, I was like, my brain is fried.
yeah.
Absolutely fried.
Yeah. And it takes ages for it to get in.
But it's so nice that when I put that out there, I get messages off people going, oh, well, this really helps. I don't know if you've looked at this. And I'm thinking...
vodka?
Yeah, good shot. Yeah, things like that. And it really helps having that network of support there. And I don't think people realise how important that side is for social media.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that people approach you for advice and things like that more because you're a woman? Because I'm guessing you don't get Do you get people asking you for advice?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do get quite a lot.
Okay.
I get a lot through YouTube. And the people that follow my channel on YouTube are really invested. I personally find YouTube the best platform.
Yeah.
The people that follow you are brilliant, and they'll go, Mark, what about this? Or even I'll do something and people go, Mark, you've done that slightly wrong. There's no malice. You get the odd comment, but if you get 400 comments on a video on YouTube, 2 might be shit.
Yeah.
Whereas the others are, that's great. Or someone will go, look, I noticed you didn't do that right. And they're not coming at you. They're
saying it from a nice place.
And the same on Instagram, you get a lot of people reaching out, especially apprentices. I find with the content that I put out.
Oh, no, that's good.
Because it's always been like, my thing was the Real World Plumbing. I'll show it right, wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
I think people really resonate with that.
Yeah.
And it's the raw view. It's like with your content
Yeah.
is you're showing that massive journey of going, I don't know if it's right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if
And
I've
sometimes
done
it's
it
not
right.
fun.
No.
No,
Yeah.
and you're showing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes
think
it's embarrassing, and you kind of feel a little bit
Yeah.
embarrassed because you're like, God, I really don't know the basics. But yeah, being like having support around you through socials, through like my engineer on a day-to-day basis is continuously being like, it's fine.
Will you be with the same guy for your whole journey,
pretty much.
your whole
So
apprenticeship?
I do various weeks with other engineers, but pretty much you're assigned to one person, and it's quite nice that I get on really well with Joe. So we work really well together, and yeah, we kind of bounce off each other. We've got the same way of working, so it's really nice. Yeah.
Does he have a specific area, like work-wise? Does he? Because social housing is massively broad.
Yeah.
So is he like the what is it he does?
Gas install.
He is a gas installer. He's not a reactive, like emergency leak guy or whatever.
No, so it's gas install. I think all the engineers do call out. So but that's for gas again.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've recently, over the past sort of 4 months, taken on oil as well. So I'm getting to see 2 sides, which I didn't expect to see, obviously doing just a gas apprenticeship.
So him doing the call-outs, do you get to go on the call-outs?
No, so the apprentices don't do the call-out side of it. It's
Would
just,
you like, knowing how you are, I'm sure you'd love to go out on a call-out.
I find that side interesting.
Yeah, because the call-out is the breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when the boy...
challenge.
Yeah, it's like, you know, this young family with a newborn, their boiler's gone down, because it's social housing, you'll get it, the boiler's gone down. So you've got to learn... It's a completely different environment walking into a house where they've booked a service in for a boiler, or you know, the people are waiting for the plumber to arrive.
Yeah.
Whereas you go into that, the house is freezing. Oh, please, the pressure. Please I hope you can get the boiler working. You don't know the moment you go. It might be a part that you can't fix there and then.
Yeah.
But the pressure on you. I've got the guys answer the door, the woman's answer with the newborn. She's 3 weeks old.
There's always a newborn.
Yeah,
there's always a newborn.
There's always a newborn.
There's always a newborn or a dog or whatever. The pressure's on you.
Yeah.
So you don't get to see that,
No.
but I bet you'd love to go.
Oh yeah, that's.
Would you get if you said, could I go?
I think they're going to put us on the breakdown team. So we've got separate teams within the company. So you've got the install team, breakdown and servicing.
Right.
And to complete our portfolio for gas, we have to go with each team at some point. So I'm primarily install, which you learn a lot on the install side. But yeah, I've done some servicing and I've done breakdown with friends outside of work who are engineers, which
But you haven't done it at work.
No,
yet.
not done it at work yet. So that kind of is coming in around April time.
Okay.
Doing more sort of breakdown and servicing side of it, which will be interesting because I like the problem solving aspect of it.
Well, it's like Kaz Gas when she came on.
Yeah.
Shout out, Kaz. You're
Shout out to Kaz. Again, another Thomas Dudley ambassador. And she was like the go-to breakdown specialist at British Gas for ages because she was just...
Her knowledge is insane.
Unbelievable. So, obviously, you work with the company that you're with at the minute. Is the end goal going out on your own and working for yourself?
So I think...
I know you probably don't want to say because if anyone is working...
No, they're really good with that. They are. Yeah,
some
they
companies
are.
are
They're really good with that.
Never leave us.
Yeah, no, they're really good. And obviously, they've taken on a fair few apprentices as well.
Their apprenticeship scheme seems really good.
incredible. They do so much. Like they did a whole podcast just to talk about apprenticeships. They really do push it, and they're very sort of hell bent on getting females and males in there. So it's quite nice.
Branching out on your own, is that
I think that would be way further down the line. I know with my course only being 2 years as well, like it's compacted with so much information. I've got my first gas exam in a couple of weeks, and I've been doing it for 7 months. Yeah. So it's really highly concentrated with information. So I think when I get to the end of it, I still want to work on install and then branch out doing things like my own services, my own breakdowns, and kind of gathering as much information as I can, and then looking at adding on different qualifications to it. I want to get my off tech for oil as well.
Because where you are in the Malverns,
exactly.
I bet it's predominantly, or a lot of it is oil.
Especially when you branch just outside of Malvern, it's just it's
into the little villages.
It's a lot of oil and air source as well.
So just sort of like heading towards the end, we always open the floor up to you if you want to give anyone, you want to plug yourself, obviously you don't want to name the company, but you shout out to them because they sound brilliant and the guy that you work with. But yeah, the floor is yours. Offer any advice or what you're going to do the weekend with Hollie or whatever. basically.
Oh God.
And people always, we always come up with this bit, and we've done it from the off, but people always go, it's sort of like putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
But it's things like, just making that leap from the industry that you was in, law, the sort of that genre.
Yeah.
To, it's massively left field to go into, especially A, for a woman to do it, but B, to go from being a near-on lawyer to becoming a tradesperson. I get it. I get it. Mates of mine that did uni and they're massively high up in the companies. I've got a mate that works at JLR, and he is really, really high at JLR. And whenever I go to work at his house, he can't put a coat hook up. He is not that guy. Yeah. And he'll watch me hang a radiator or whatever, and he'll go, I wish that I could do stuff like that. And he went, I would give anything to be able to switch what I did. He said, don't get me wrong, it's a great lifestyle and whatever, and the money's brilliant. He went, but I'd love to do a trade.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do, but, for instance, you switching from that.
Yeah.
Give people advice on if they want to chase their dreams. That's the one.
I think
because as corny as that is what you've done. It is
literally that. Yeah, it's something I've wanted to do for so long. So I want people to message me and ask for that advice and get my experience, so that if that gives them a little bit of an insight that spurs like, yes, that's what I want to do, that works for me. Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask anybody else as well. All you're going to get is you're either not going to get a response from someone, or they're going to help you. Yeah. Don't take it personally.
What's the worst they can say?
Exactly. Yeah. And if you get somebody that's telling you that you've given them a stupid question, then they're not the right people to be following, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone says to me, no question is a stupid question, and I still apologise for my questions.
Yeah, but that's just British, anyway.
Exactly.
I'm sorry about being sorry.
Yeah, I just want people to, keep kind of following my journey in it, so that you can see that it's possible to do it the way I've done it, be an older learner, do it whilst you're still trying to earn a living.
Is that what you class yourself as, an older learner?
That's what I'm classed as, yeah. So in my course, I'm the oldest learner.
I don't really like that. An older learner. And on that bombshell, it's lovely having you in, Jess.
Thank you,
Hollie.
Oh, thank you for having me. Sorry for
halfway through. We'll put all Jess's links down in the description below. If you've got this far, hit the like button. If you're watching on YouTube, get subscribed to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify, go to YouTube, get subscribed to the channel on there. And just like to say a massive thanks for coming on.
No, thank you.
Good luck with everything that's coming up with the B&Q stuff and everything in general.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best. But thanks for coming on.
I'll see you in installer.
Rubik's Cubing.
Rubik's Cube Challenge 2025.
I should get Hollie. And you.
Don't set me a challenge.
But no, it's been great having you on. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.